A lapsed life insurance policy means that a policyholder missed premium payments and the coverage is no longer active. In most cases, a lapsed policy won't pay out after the insured person dies, but there are exceptions. In this video, I'll break down what happens when a policy lapses, legal protections that might still apply, rare situations where a claim still could be paid, and what beneficiaries can do when they are denied a payout. What happens when a life insurance policy lapses? Most policies offer a 30 to 60-day grace period after a missed payment. If the payment isn't made within the grace period, the policy lapses and coverage ends. Once lapsed, beneficiaries lose all rights to benefits, unless an exception applies. A key distinction exists between temporary lapse, which can be reinstated, and termination, which is the final end of the policy. What grace periods and legal protections exist? Grace periods are typically 30 to 60 days, depending on state and policy. Some states have strict protections. For example, the California Insurance Code requires a 60-day grace period, advance notice of lapse, and the right to name a third-party designee who must be notified before the policy lapses. Missing any of these steps may make the lapse invalid under law. Can a lapsed life insurance policy be reinstated after death? In general, no. You cannot reinstate a policy after the insured person dies. But there are some rare exceptions, including death during the grace period. If the insured dies during the grace period, the policy must still pay out. Insurance company error. If the insurance company failed to send a proper notice, the lapse may be invalid. Violation of state law. If the company failed to follow mandatory notice rules, for example, not notifying a third-party designee, the policy can still be enforced. And finally, a waiver of premium eligibility. If the insured qualified for a waiver due to disability, for example, but wasn't informed, the policy might be reinstated. How do you challenge a denied life insurance claim after lapse? If you're a beneficiary and the insurer denied your claim after a lapse, first request all records from the insurance company, including payment history, notification letters, and lapse notices and dates. Next, check the grace period dates and compliance with state law. Then you'll look for procedural errors by the insurer, like missing notices or violations of state-specific insurance laws. And finally, consult a life insurance attorney. These cases are complex, but they can be winnable if the insurer failed to meet its legal duties. How does reinstatement work before death? Policies often allow reinstatement within 2 to 5 years of lapse. Requirements may include filling out a reinstatement application, undergoing a health review, and repayment of missed premiums plus interest. The pros of reinstatement are you may restore the original terms and pricing, but the downsides are that it can be costly and it might require a new underwriting, plus the contestability period resets. What if the policy had cash value? Whole life and universal life policies may have cash value. The cash value might be used to purchase reduced paid-up coverage or be refunded, minus any outstanding loans or payments. Tax consequences may apply, especially if the cash value exceeded the premiums paid. Can beneficiaries still get paid after a lapse? Yes, in some cases, especially if the insurer violated notice requirements, the insured died during the grace period, or the policy had value, or procedural missteps had occurred. A life insurance attorney can file a formal appeal or a lawsuit if the denial was improper. How do you prevent life insurance policies from lapsing? Set up auto pay for your premiums. Name a third-party contact to receive lapse notices. Schedule annual policy reviews. Consider adding premium loans or policy riders for extended coverage. And keep contact information current with your insurer. Once the life insurance policy lapses and the insured passes away, reinstating it can be extremely difficult, but it's not always impossible. If you're facing a denied claim, don't give up. You may still have options. Check out my complete life insurance playlist. It has everything you need to know.